Well, welcome here today again to the Emerald Coast Medical Association Medical Mastery Podcast. And we are very happy to have Chris Josten here. Now, Chris Josten is the CEO and director in all things of Curiosity Marketing, who's one of the long-time first of all, you've sponsored us through a lot of different things, but also you're also very helpful to our membership in a lot of different ways, doing all kinds of things, mass marketing and otherwise. Having said that, welcome.
Well, thank you.
Well, it's good to have you here. And, you know, we'll get to some of the things that you're doing behind the scenes here in just a little bit. But first things first, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
Yeah, so moved here very young. My dad was Air Force, and he's moved here in the Air Force as a physician. And my goal was originally to go into medical school and follow in his footsteps.
But you got smarter. Good.
I don't know if I got smarter, but I got into chemistry, and let's just say chemistry was not my friend. Studied for 2 to 3 days straight, and 36 on my final exam, and I just went to him after that, and I said, this is just not for me. Yeah. So I went back to where my other passion, which was marketing, design, and that type of thing. So
yeah, and so how long have you had your marketing design business?
Yeah, so the agency turned 12. It'll turn 13 in January.
Yes.
So it's coming up on those years. It's gone fast. Feels like it's 2 years.
One of the things that I've always admired about people like yourself that are kind of entrepreneurial is that it was hard for me to do those kind of things. In other words, the only way that I was going to make a living was going to have to be set up for me in some way, and healthcare training allowed for that. But you kind of stuck it out on your own and started this whole thing without any guarantees. Is that fair to say?
It is, yeah. So it was a number of years ago before I started the agency. I worked out of St. Joe as creative director over there for a small agency, and I missed my daughter's first steps, and the drive back and forth started to get kind of tedious, and so we started to look at different opportunities, and ended up getting a job over here, and then finally just said, I'm doing all the work for everyone else, and my wife Christy just goes, well, why don't we do it for ourselves? And
sometimes those wives are insightful like that, huh? Yeah.
Absolutely. And so we just decided at that point, we just stepped out, bootstrapped it from the beginning, and
yeah, and it seems like with these kind of ventures that you do, it's kind of a groundswell. It seems like it's more organic growth that becomes sustainable over time. It's not this massive, huge success from the beginning. You've kind of had to build it up along the way. And in some sense, that's the best way to do it, right?
It is. I mean, we always keep customer service front and center.
Yes.
Transparency is another big thing in our agency with data and analytics, and we've always kept that front and center. Like if we're messing something up, we're going to let everyone know we're messing something up and then fix it and work a long way. So
I love hearing that from this sense, and it's because it's one of my bugaboos that you'll hear on this podcast again and again, which is that I think healthcare has lost the concept that we are in the customer service business. And we've lost the idea of how to take care of our customers. And so that is something that we're going to harp on a lot. So to hear you say that you treat customers first, I mean, what else are we doing here? That's the best way to do this kind of thing. Now, what would you say your specialties are in the field of marketing?
Mainly digital. So when we first started, we were full service. We did TV, radio, billboards, digital, and it was too much. And over time, we've once going back to customer service, backed all the way up to just focusing on websites and web design, and have slowly added back into that. So web development, social media, online advertising, reputation management's a huge thing right now.
Yes.
So that's kind of our core offering.
You might have your hands full with me just in general with that kind of thing. But it's also nice to see that you've been able to kind of chameleonize yourself to be able to move with whatever seems to be flowing.
We have to.
Yeah.
The industry changes so quickly. I mean, we everyone talks about dog years. Now we look at it from a perspective of web years. The industry and what's required to be ranked well on the internet it changes so quickly.
Yeah, and let's hone down on that first. If you say, I'm going to be looking, I just found out, I moved here from out of town. I had a kidney doctor where I was from in Arizona, and now I need a good kidney doctor here. How are you going to be able to optimize your customers to be able to see where, hey, whenever I'm looking for a kidney doctor, my eyes are going to come upon your practice?
So first off, be a member of ECMA.
Yes.
We've done a very good job of optimizing their website where Michelle gets a lot of conversations and a lot of reach out of who should I go to see for this specific. But secondly to that, we do a tremendous amount of local listing management, local marketing from a perspective of mobile device detection and those things that help put you in the proximity or find the physician as in the closest to your proximity.
Sounds like fancy technology there. That's great.
It's not too much, but yeah, it's definitely more hyper-local focused.
Well, I think, some of the things that novices say a lot, and you'll know a lot more about this, is search engine optimization to try and get to where your name pops up there first.
Yep.
I'm assuming you've got a lot of insight into that.
We do, yeah. And it's really changed. So years ago, we used to kind of trick the system. We would put, black keywords, copy and paste it in a black background. And it was how many times can you get a keyword on a page and you would wake up the next morning and you're ranking.
Okay.
Now it's not that way. It's content. So it's generating blog articles. It's rewriting the content, making sure there's interlinking between pages.
Yes.
Just on the site side. Then on the external side, we have the Google business listings. We have WebMD, health grades, all of these that we have to pay attention to. And so we have a system on the back end that we run that kind of integrates them all so we can manage the data in one place. And then it's basically optimizes across the board. Well,
and I'm going to say we as physicians hate doing those kinds of things.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not anything we're trained to do. We don't, many of us don't like WebMD. So there's a lot of different problems there. But that's why we come to a professional who says kind of, let me take care of the heavy lifting there and be able to do that for you.
And that's what we like to do. We like to come into practices and businesses and be that marketing arm. Let you guys focus on what you're really good at, and then let us come in and help you support around that from that side with what we're good at.
And in my family's personal experience with you in curiosity marketing, it's kind of a nice come see the practice, you interview, you talk to the people around so you can kind of get a feel for how the practice is, so you can kind of feel how you want to integrate that best in terms of a marketing strategy and other things like that. Again, smarter things than we're going to think about.
Yeah, and we always say start with why. That's a big thing. It's always been the fundamental aspect. That's where the name comes from, curiosity, always asking questions. And we want to be integrated. One of the things we see with a lot of marketing agencies is it's trade money for execution, and it's not necessarily what the results are on the back end. And we work through the execution, then look at the data, look at the results, and then rinse and repeat. Go through the process over and over again. So the more integrated we can become, the more effective we can be.
I think that's so great because there's some verisimilitude with what we have to do. It's an iterative process. If I give you a medication and it doesn't work for you, well, we need to revamp. We need to think about things again. We need to look at our outcomes, whatever they may be, and determine whether or not that's a useful intervention, and then change if we need to. So we're really doing the same thing here, okay?
It is.
So now, this is something that's a personal hobby horse of mine that I talk about quite a lot, especially with the board members here at ECMA. And I want to know your thoughts about how AI is going to integrate into all of this. In some sense, we can get very scared about this new technology, but in another sense, it's going to be a huge amount of information that we can all of a sudden utilize as tools. Are you and your team and your family talking about these kind of things around the dinner table?
Yeah, AI's become an efficiency tool for us. There's also a detriment in some areas. In terms of what it's doing to content and building some antitrust, mainly on social media.
Yes.
So, but is AI anytime soon going to replace humans? No. Is it going to continue to build an efficiency tool and automation and help things maybe move a little bit smoother in the long run? Yeah. But from our perspective, anything that we've tried to fully lean on AI, it fails badly.
Okay.
So it's just kind of that next step. And we're definitely using for an efficiency standpoint and
Yeah.
some content prompting and some marketing strategy here and there, but not tremendously.
So perhaps it's not quite ready for prime time,
Not
but
yet.
there's going to be some first mover advantage to
yeah.
these kind of things for
yeah.
people that kind of start to integrate that. You know, that's something that we're talking about a lot about. Can we make some predictions about where AI is going to end up in our world? Can we start to plan for that? Can we start to kind of get involved with that from the front end? And I still think at the end of the day, you know, patients want to be treated by physicians.
Absolutely.
And they want to see them. And so that's where I really think you and marketing really comes in hand with this.
And we see it too, just, you know, with the practices we work with, the ones that have more of that hands-on customer approach
Yes.
have the better reviews. They have the, you know, the better interactions with patients in general. And it makes our job a little easier too. So.
Well, I realized too at some point that it doesn't matter how good of a doctor you are. You could be the best thing ever. If nobody knows where you are and knows how to get to you, it doesn't matter a hill of beans. And so there is a certain, you know, in some sense, many physicians kind of feel like, oh, geez, why do I have to do this? Why do I have to dig into marketing
Absolutely.
whatsoever? Because I'm just out there doing my job. I'm well trained. I take really good care of people. I know the literature. I'm way out in front of all this stuff. Why do I really need to care about marketing? Mm-hmm. Do you have any thoughts on that?
And the first question I always leave with that is the patients that you're seeing the ideal patient that you want to be seeing? Mm. You know, is it, are there specific procedures you want to do more of? Is there specific types of patient cases you want to see more of?
Yes.
And because if you're not getting, if that's a yes, well, then that makes our job a lot easier. But if it's not, that's where we can kind of fill the gaps and rebuild the messaging to lean towards those patient personas.
What a great insight that I would not have entirely thought about. But you're trying to match those kind of goals with us overall. You know, I think of practice, I think of businesses in general, not so much as cold entities. I think of them as economic engines. And what we really want to do with our economic engine here for our practice and other practices around is we want it to be a force multiplier to scale up. And I think you cannot do that scaling without good marketing behind you that really falls in step with all your goals there. So,
yeah.
You know, I think one thing that would be important for anybody that's looking to get into marketing, I think you can help out a lot, or physician practices or other things that are looking to get marketing on their side, is come up with your why, come up with your mission, come up with your purpose. Start to think about that really well and thoughtfully. It's going to help you clarify your own business stance, but then you can get a professional in here that, you know, if somebody just says, I don't know, market for me, it's a lot easier when they say, this is my why, these are the people I want to see, can you help me get to that?
And we've gotten to a point now where our targeting capabilities are so hyper-focused now. Mm-hmm. We ran some campaigns for some auto dealers a number of years ago, and then even more recently, where we were targeting college students just graduating college with the types of vehicles that they wanted to, that they're attracted to. If they go and even look at a specific color vehicle, the ads then follow them with that specific color. And it's the same thing from a physician's perspective. If we have a better understanding of, you know, is it an elective procedure? Well, then we know we need to go to a higher income bracket. Mm-hmm. And we're able to then hone in on the different territories of where they live and understand more about what their persona behaviors are. And then we can, of course, adapt those behaviors into the advertising on the back end.
It's fascinating how granular you can really get into this whole thing. I'm sure in some sense it's a little scary and dystopian.
It's at the point now where if we wanted to geofence and basically serve advertising to one neighborhood, we can do that. And then any device that's tied to that Wi-Fi network that we've said, then that becomes a target market too of each of those devices. Wow. It's getting pretty complex.
So you may know more about me than I know about myself, actually.
Sometimes.
Probably.
Yeah,
okay.
Sometimes.
Well, let's talk about what you're doing here, not just as running Curiosity Marketing and helping out our membership here, but specifically for the Medical Mastery podcast. Mm-hmm. your job here is to produce this whole thing, as a matter of fact.
We are producing it. Yeah. So we've been asked a number of times to get into podcasts, not just for ourselves, but also with some of our clients. And Michelle approached us, and you approached us, and I'm like, you know what? It's time to do it. So here we are.
Well, in for a penny, in for a pound. And so all the fancy equipment that we have around here is yours under Curiosity Marketing. So you can have a mobile podcasting suite
mobile.
Where we can go. And we're super excited about this adventure. But really, this would not be possible. It would just be a brainchild with ours without having some nuts and bolts back here to be able to do all these things. So we're really appreciative of you, of Curiosity Marketing, for what you provided for us, for your sponsorship. But also, I mean, all of this technology around here that's going to make us probably sound a lot better than we deserve to. So
we can go that far.
Thank you for that. And if you could just occasionally in editing throw in some big words that I said, okay, I would really appreciate that.
I don't think that's going to be a problem.
This is a go big one, okay? Anything else that you want to talk about in terms of the Medical Mastery Podcast, or anything else about Curiosity Marketing that you want to say to us?
No, not tremendously. I mean, I think the podcast is going to be huge. I'm hoping from our perspective that we're able to continue to build the awareness of what's available in our area and not lose patients to surrounding areas.
Yes.
And then, shameless plug, I did just finish a book.
Oh, well, tell us about this.
Yeah, so I've been asked for about 3 years now by a number of clients to say they wish they could get everything out of my head.
Yes.
And so I just started to brain dump.
Oh.
And it's essentially a soup to nuts process of where we start to where we end, and then it's published 3 months ago now. So it's
how about that? Well, let me just hone in on that for a second.
Yeah.
How did you find the book writing process?
Fun.
Okay.
But once again, our industry changes so often. So by the time I wrote it the first time, I had to go back and edit the second time.
Exactly.
And by now, it probably needs a second edition because things have changed in the past 3 months. But no, I mean, it was a good exercise. Mainly just from a complexity of what we do standpoint, it really showed how much our team actually does.
Yes.
And how intricate each little piece is. Mm-hmm. Each chapter could essentially be expounded into its own book if we really wanted to.
Yeah, and so that there's, again, some overlap with the team-based approach here, that, we tend to think physicians' offices, it's the doctor there that's seeing the patient. It's an entire cadre of team that makes that entire thing happen. Emerald Coast Medical Association is an entire cadre of people that are working in the background doing things that you would never even know in order to be able to get the things that we need to for our membership. And it's the same thing in your field. Now, were you regimented about writing? Was it an everyday, I had to do at least 3 hours worth, or how did that work?
Well, it started that way. It's like, okay, we got the outline done. And then it was like, okay, I'm going to write so many pages a day. And then we got busy and life happened. And then I would pick it up.
As it do.
Well, it need to be rewritten. And then finally, it's about 6 months ago, I was like, no, it's time to just get it done. And I just sat down and just brain dumped everything within a 3-week period for the first day.
Yes, well, it's so great to hear that you're just like me in that, as soon as I need to really study for boards, or if I need to do some big project, I'm immediately I'm going to clean under the refrigerator for a little while. It always takes the last second for me to really sit in on something and do it. So, well, incredible. So we've got author, CEO, business person, production, podcast capability. Is there anything that you don't do?
I'm sure there's a lot.
Well, we're looking forward to having you take care of us with the production in the background of this. So anything that you guys see here that you say, man, that was really great, or that sounded really awesome, that's all thanks to him and his expertise and his team, which right now is consisting of you doing most of this. But either way, we appreciate you so much for making this dream of mine and ours kind of come to fruition, and really appreciate all the expertise you bring here.
Yeah, and I just want to say, thank you to our team as well. They're, we don't necessarily get the FaceTime, but Michelle interfaces with Nina and our team a lot, and I couldn't do this without them.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's I'm just the face. They do all the hard stuff and make me look good.
Trust me, I understand how that goes, okay?
It's a team thing, like you said.
Now, if people wanted to get in touch with Curiosity Marketing, how would you best advise them to do that?
So 2 ways. One, for the medical association, you can talk with Michelle. Our website, we've got a contact form just right there.
Yes.
My email, chris@curiositymg.com. Feel free to email me at any point.
Great.
And love to talk with everyone.
Thank you so much, Chris. Really appreciate everything you're doing for us here at Medical Mastery.
Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate it.